or nearly everybody who said that they would help me. There's two ways that they go. Either one, this is the popular one, they want to talk about killing people and how they would kill people and about how I should go killing people and so on and so on and so on. Case in point, Sarah Bacon, just one of many. Sure, her family was being threatened according to her, but I have never been sent any evidence about it. I just have to take her word for it, and she's never come forward. Much like every one of these predators that got a hold of me through web sleuth groups. Sarah Bacon, Cara Rogers, Aaron Cockerham, Layla Johnson, Kara Johnson Miles, Dan Fabert. What did these people really do? What did they really do to help? They coordinated with one another. They didn't do it to help me. And that's unfortunate. When you say one thing and do another, no, you're not a friend. And if you come to me through a web sleuth group, no, I don't believe a word that you have to say until you keep your word. Show me your worth. Don't tell me that you're a good man for 6 months. When for 6 months you're looking the other way, making excuses and talking about yourself. You don't know a damn thing about me because for the last 6 years you've done nothing but ignore me. Now, there's a lot of people out there that are of a different opinion than me. They think I should be out there killing all these predators. And don't get me wrong, I'm highly intelligent. I'm also trained in some weaponry. When it comes to weapons, which ones am I best with? Am I best with a rifle? No, I'm damn good with a rifle, especially open sights. My vision is not quite what it used to be. It's still excellent at night, but at nighttime you tend to lose color. It tends to be black and white. I remember going out with Chris Stegman one night, and we were shooting at Mountain Dew bottles. This is our normal quarry. And we're shooting at these Mountain Dew bottles, and of course, as it's getting to the twilight, we start missing. Now, right at the twilight, that's about the worst because everything just kind of gets fuzzy at a distance because your eyes are starting to adjust to the dark. Now, we had 500 rounds of ammunition we wanted to go through. And we started there probably 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I guess. One loads, the other shoots. We had two guns. The SKS, that was mine. It was Yugoslavian, and then a Romanian, or no, Yugoslavian SKS and a Romanian AK-47 is what we had. The AK-47 was my gift to Chris Stegeman for one of his birthdays. He said it was the first birthday present he ever received. He grew up Jehovah's Witness. Well, his mom and his two sisters, but him and his dad weren't. His mom was real nice, too. What's this got to do with anything? Well, nighttime, it's real difficult to see something that's in color, no matter what color it is. It's a lot easier to see yellow, but in fading light, we tend to see just black and white. I want you to look at stuff at night. I mean, it's not just the shadows, it's that less light picks up less color. It has to do with the rods and the cones that are in your eyeballs. Now, we've got all these people whose idea is to kill these people over and over again. But what do I keep trying to do? I keep trying to get them in court, which literally all of you are useless. You know what it takes to get someone in court. You know that that's the help that I need, but yet you are BSing me and playing stupid. And then, of course, there's the fact that you have people immediately in your life that will help you. So you never reach out to me for help. And that's good, because in my position, I can't afford to help a whole lot of people. But then again, your excuse for not caring is that I don't pay enough attention to your life. Huh. Your life comes across my screen often in my YouTube channel. But I also know that there is no sense messaging you and no sense texting you when you're busy ignoring me. When you say, yeah, I'll help you on Friday. When it's 2018 and I'm being abused and you say, I will help you on Friday. I didn't realize you meant Friday 2036. I gotta wait until, what, a decade and a half away before you're gonna stop being a coward? It takes you decades to tell the truth? Takes decades to keep your word? Is that what it's gonna take? It don't matter anymore. I recorded that dismissive stuff. And some people, like Caitlin Tatum, she isn't pushing me to go kill people. Danny didn't push me to kill people. Hell, they weren't first string. They weren't second string. They weren't even third string. Danny, I barely knew. I was pretty good friends with her boyfriend, Jake. He threw me away years ago. But her and Jake broke up. For whatever reason, it ain't my business and it ain't yours. For some reason, Danny wanted to remain friends after that. That's cool. We're actually friends, but do we do friend things? No, we don't. I don't exist. Out of sight, out of mind. I see all these folks posting up all the fun stuff that they get to do with their friends. Wouldn't that be great if I had friends like that? No, I don't have friends like that, though, do I? I have fair weather friends who are going to make excuses and talk over me. Now, there's a lot of stuff that I recorded with Caitlin Tatum, and I posted up some of it, but really it's important to be able to hear the audio messages, and I can't do that from inside of a library. I can't do that from inside a Starbucks. Maybe if I had some of these skills that you guys got with the computer, I'd be able to do that. You guys think that I got all this time in the world where I'm sitting there with stuff over my head and a computer in front of me and the internet and all this money that people are magically throwing at me, but are they throwing all this magic money at me? You guys go and look at the internet. You don't bother to look at the actual evidence. You want to believe what somebody else says instead of look at evidence. You want to pass judgment based on crap like that. You want to look the other way, and we have taught every woman in America to play victim when she screws up. Doesn't matter what the law says. She's, oh, boo-hoo me. Throw on the tears. Poor you, poor you. That's the difference between men and women. If I see a man cry, I know there's a problem. I know that he just lost his son, or he just lost his wife. I know that when I see a man cry, that he has had everything in his life taken from him. A woman to throw on the tears here in the United States because she has been trained to over the littlest thing. When she wants to get her free shot once an hour, but then, of course, she's real mad today, so she's going to hit you 10 free shots in a row she thinks she's going to get. We teach girls different than we teach boys, don't we? We teach boys it's never okay to hit a girl. We teach girls that they get one for free. Well, one for free, how often? Why are we teaching girls that it's okay to hit people? It's not. You want to complain that the rules are different for boys than they are for girls? You're right. The law doesn't apply to females in this country. You throw on the tears and you're automatically the victim. Poor you, poor you. You've got tits. That's horrible. That is horrible. It's also vulgar. You make it vulgar, so I will say it vulgar. You know the difference between a prostitute and a whore? Nothing. There is absolutely 100% zero difference between the two. They're synonyms. Prostitute means whore, whore means prostitute. But one of them is a professional name, and one of them is vulgar. They're both descriptives for exactly the same thing. Sex for money or sex for trade. See, prostitution is not just dependent upon money. If you are trading your vagina for a roof over your head, even if it's for your kids, it's still prostitution. And the man you're with is still a John. If you do what Mahalia Jean-Pierre did and what Rachel did, both of these women were in Virginia. Both of these women I went to see when I went to go see Natalie Bollinger. Mahalia Jean-Pierre, thank goodness, had already gotten out of there. Now here's the thing about Mahalia Jean-Pierre. She paid her rent for her and her son. Paid the rent. For a whole month. And after being there a little over a week, he decided it wasn't enough money and she owed him sexual favors. So yeah, I helped Mahalia Jean-Pierre get out of there. Or at least I tried. She was able to get help from her dad. And he bought her an airplane ticket to Boulder, Colorado. So by the time I actually made the Virginia trip, thank goodness she was in a safe location. Now we got a lot of bodies here that need to be taken into account. There's Rory Jeffson. There's also Natalie Bollinger. There's also Benjamin Harvey. There's Elijah McClain. There's Tibor Hatay. There's Demetria Shankling. There's Janine Barrett. There's Anna Hunka. Anna Ingersoll. How many bodies got to hit the floor before you do something? I am doing something. Many of you are angry because I'm not killing these people. That's your solution for everything. Go kill these people, right? You think I should go kill Leslie Snell? You think I should go kill Scott DaCosta? You think I should kill? Kill. That is your solution for everything. Sean, if I was there, I would help you beat them. I don't want them beaten up. I don't want them beaten up. I don't want them killed. I don't want these son of a bitches made into martyrs. But you guys, your help, your suggestions or solutions are to either A, let them go, or B, make them martyrs. No, they need to be made examples of. How does the cartel make an example? Well, they take your 15-year-old daughter out in the woods. They chop her arms off. They chop her legs off. They chop her head off. They throw it in a pile. They get it on video and then they send it to the parents. Or they make the parents watch while they do this. Are you that ruthless? These are the people that Ted Bollinger is in bed with. Absolutely, being very, very, very loud is the only protection that any of these idiots actually have. Any of these people who claim to be friends and then look the other way. What are the chances that Natalie Marie Bollinger was shot in the head over Ted Bollinger's drug shit? It's a possibility. It is a possibility. It's not a probability. Natalie Marie Bollinger did want to die. She did beg for her life to end repeatedly. I gave her a reason to live. And she told me that frequently and often. Just because I existed. Now let's talk about your ideas for bodies. You guys think I should go kill all these people? You think I should be killing all these predators? Well, most of my predators through this are law enforcement officers. Now, if I was wanting to take out my predators, could I take them all out at once? Not by a long shot. Now, how many, if I had the resources that I have now, let's say I left today and decided that I was going to be as much of an idiot as you guys think I should be, and just run around killing people. Well, with my understanding of explosives, I could probably get rid of 200 to 300 at once. Just a matter of checking the papers for the most recent police officer to die. And of course, in between where his body is and where they're going to bury it, there is plenty of roadside area to pick for IEDs. We could use some Iraqi tactics, some Afghani tactics. That would take out a lot of innocent civilians, though. The other one, pick the funeral. You already know that when you get there, they're going to have the hole already dug. They're going to have the hole dug before the services. They're going to have it all set up. And no, there's not security at those things. They got some guys that kind of stand around looking stupid, but really, there's not going to be any security. And the only people that you have to really worry about blowing up, other than the police, is a few of the family of the deceased. That's less civilian casualties. But it's still civilian casualties now, isn't it? So you guys want to play this game of, oh, conceptually, this is what Sean should do. Well, conceptually, Sean could do a lot. If I had a silenced handgun, might be able to get away with 5 or 6 of my enemies before I get busted. If I have an unsilenced pistol, maybe 1 or 2. If I pick a good location with 3 of them and they're all unarmed, I might be able to get away with 3 of them. If I pick the right party, I could probably walk in and blast up to 8 to 10. These are your suggestions, people. You want to see bodies. That's what you want to see. You're disgusting. It's like Romans at the Colosseum. Although it was only called the Colosseum because of the bronze colossus that was outside of it, used to be outside of it. Really, it's the Flavian Amphitheater. There's a reason it's named that. We're not going to go into the history of that, though, because we're talking about your sick-mindedness. Your belief that violence is the right answer for everything. You're not actually going to get violent, though. I mean, you listen to Sarah talking about the things that she would do to people if she was here to protect me. Right? But then she talks about people threatening to kill her and her family, including her kids. Did she go kill those people? No, she didn't. So she wants to talk about it, but in reality, she's just going to talk about it. Just like any other help that she claimed that she was going to provide after wasting my time, because all she wanted to do was talk about it. Well, I don't want these people dead. I want them in prison. I don't want Leslie Snell dead. I want her in prison. I don't want Scott DeCosta dead. I want him in prison. I don't want Alicia Bollinger dead. I want her in prison. I don't want Danica Garner dead. I want her in prison. I don't want Rochelle Shelley Campbell dead. I want her in prison. Now let's stop to consider that in my court paperwork, actually in my court documents, I told you that I tried to contact the FBI. There's multiple recordings on my YouTube channel about that. We also get to hear Dan Fabert talking on my YouTube channel about that. Oh, that's right. He also says that he couldn't remember if it was the FBI or the Secret Service that called him. So he said whatever it was that he had said earlier is probably the right one. That's the thing about overtime. Especially overtime when somebody is angry with you because you told the truth. They're going to selectively remember things how they want, which is why evidence is important. You can't help me if you're going to hide like a coward. If you're going to force me to post it on the internet because you're too much of a coward to tell the truth, if you're going to tell me these things, but then you're going to play stupid, homie, don't play that. You screwed up. You fess up to it. You take the consequences. When I let you know you've got the chance to be an actual friend, or you can leave. Well, you think if you ignore it long enough, it just goes away? That's stupid. Well, you think that just because you have all sorts of resources, because you're a female, just because you get all sorts of actual help, just because you're a female, that it means that the men that you're not helping magically get help because they're female? You really think that's how it works? No, we're not female. We don't get your special treatment. People won't break the law for us. Danny is tiny and pretty and knows how to manipulate. Her messages between her and I shows that she uses suicide as a manipulation tactic when she wants attention. Whereas I'm dead serious. Not one of my friends was actually a friend. They were all bullshit. The predators got away because my friends were complacent. My friends were liars. My friends were bullshitters. My friends wanted something, and when there was nothing left for them to take from me, I didn't exist to them. I call the places that I'm supposed to call. But because of the abuse from my predators, I'm not capable of doing as they are expecting me to do. I don't have the ability to do those things, and they know it. And that's why they get away with it. And as long as people like Caitlin Tatum don't actually care, want to make every excuse to ignore me for months on end after saying she's going to do something, or years, literally years. And then she wants to pretend, and Danny wants to pretend like, oh, I've had a one-sided friendship here. How they've reached out to me, and I just didn't do squat and didn't care. Every time those folks at Starbucks went out to take out the garbage, every time I went out with them for their safety, and it was requested, by the way. They were thankful for it. But no matter what, any excuse to look the other way for years, no. There is no woman that I have ever met who does not expect help here and now, right now. If this happened to Caitlin Tatum, she wouldn't try being patient with me as I've been with her. She would throw a tantrum immediately if she was going through this. Immediately. So would Danny. They would throw on the tears so fast. The thing is, it's not okay to be friends. It's just not. It is not okay in this country to be friends with someone who wants to pretend that everything in their life is your fault. It is not okay to be friends with someone who is going to blow smoke up your backside and have special rules and expectations for them. If you're a manipulator, if you use suicide just for attention, you're sick in the head. Now, I can't be honest. I can't be honest or I'm a bad person. You are horrible people. Horrible. You think if you type nice, pretty words, that's the same as caring about someone. No. When your friends come to you and say, hey, I'm being abused, I need help, anything other than actually helping them to turn it in is not help. Any suggestion that you want to make based on your ignorance of the situation is not help. If you can't even admit that they came to you for help, and you force them to prove on the internet, on YouTube, and on Facebook that they did go to you for help, that they did tell the truth, that's on you for making zero effort to try. You didn't do it, you made me do it. With 10,000 other things on my plate, you could have simply spoken up. You have any idea how many hours of extra work it is for me? And I have to find a place to do that. I have to find the money to do that. And I still need help. 6 years I've been asking for help with this electronic shit. 6 years I have been paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for help that I'm not getting. None of these agencies are going to help unless the witnesses come forward with me, you stupid cunt. You got people killed. You. Because you didn't care. Because popularity and likes are what matters to you. We're not friends. Yes, I know you in real life. But in real life, you looked the other way. You didn't give a shit. But pretty words, what can you do to help? I tell you what you can do to help. You want to argue. You want to tell me you're not a lawyer. And then you want to lie to me about what the law says. Any excuse to be just pretty words. No, 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 no. We need to stop catering to women. We have taught them to be evil. Women are not inherently evil. Men are not inherently evil. But we have taught women they can get away with whatever they want because the law doesn't apply to them. They can play on bias. Bias that is based on lies. Girls are not made out of sugar and spice and everything nice. They're made out of flesh and blood just like you and I. Now, according to the FBI on my paperwork, yeah, I know how to make explosives. There were also components in my vehicle that could have been used to make explosives. There was also Pyrodex in my vehicle, which is a propellant. Could be used for the manufacture of explosives. What I did not have is those components assembled. Whew. That's a whole bunch of felonies averted. Didn't make a difference though, did it? Mm-mm. Now, if I wanted to kill people, it would have been done already. Sandy Fromm put guns in my hands. Wendell McPhee put guns in my hands. A lot of people put guns in my hands. Brandon Ratner put guns in my hands. There's multiple people who put guns in my hands after Natalie's death. There's multiple people who told me, hey, Sean, I'll give you a 30-06 if you take care of this sumbitch. I got a 357 if you'll take care of that sumbitch. Hey, Sean, I got a 22 vest pistol, hot pink, if you go shoot Douglas Pollock. Oh, yeah, lots of people. Lots and lots and lots of people hold grudges and want people dead. And, of course, they ain't going to lift a finger to help me. They're not going to speak up, but they want me to kill people? Are you nuts? You are out of your ever-loving goddamn mind. But when it comes to doing so, you're absolutely right. We all have the ability. A 98-pound woman with a Colt 45 versus a 500-pound man with a Colt 45, they've got equal chances. Far more equal than a 400-pound man against a 120-pound woman. Far more equal chances than a 200-pound man versus a 150-pound woman. You're giving up a lot of weight. That weight is no factor with a firearm. No factor whatsoever. Matter of fact, being large like that just makes you a bigger target. Having all that extra weight means you have to move all that extra weight along with your, 2.3 pound pistol? Oh, people are nuts. Yes, with my knowledge of explosives and scraps that I can find here in town, yeah, I could take out a lot of predators. If I wanted to go harvest poison oak here in Oregon, or poison ivy in Colorado, or poison sumac in Virginia, easy to find. Takes almost nothing to be a lethal dose. Easy to identify. Heck, here in the state of Oregon, they got multiple videos on YouTube, also on the Oregon State sites, so that you can identify the plants that you need to avoid because, well, although it touching you on your leg will give you a rash that itches for days, if you accidentally ingest it, that's the end of your life. You're not going to survive it. I had one guy come in Colorado and he was talking about his ex-wife, right? He's like, man, she took the kids. She won't get off the drugs. She literally left me and moved in with her meth dealer, and she's got my kids there. And he was talking about, you know what? It's just too bad we don't have access to poison here, you know? Don't say nothing. I could have told him there's poison ivy less than half a mile from his house, but I didn't. There's lots of ways you guys can be inventive about killing people. Many of you are. You guys watch these movies. A lot of women who've admitted to me that they're watching these web sleuth shows because they want to figure out how to get away with killing somebody. Holy hell. So we've got a lot of women with premeditated murder on their minds. You want to look and act sweet and innocent. Danny's one of those. Natalie's one of those. Where you can act sweet and innocent. You paint yourself up all sweet and innocent, but you're not. You're really not. You play on it. We've taught every woman in America what these biases are and how to play on those biases to get away with whatever they want. And you know what? Making yourself more pretty, putting on extra eyeliner, trying to make your eyelashes longer is a part of that. You're trying to make yourself look sweet and innocent. And you try to talk sweet and innocent. Oh, sweetie. Oh, sweetie. Gross. Oh, poor me. I didn't get what I want. Oh my God, John so horribly told the truth. Ow. Now, realistically, how many bodies could I make? In Hood River, during that windstorm, I could have burned the whole town and probably about 90% of the residents. Logistics, folks. Right now, lighting a fire anywhere in Oregon is going to be pretty well useless unless it's in a fire-ravaged area already that has maintained itself as a dry area because, well, the rain doesn't get through. Basically, the heat rising pushes a big pressure pocket in over the top where the fire is, and moisture just doesn't go there. The heat rising pushes the rain out of the way, or of course diffuses it into steam where it rises again and becomes moisture elsewhere. It's a matter of logistics and timing. See, what I could have done was taken a couple of real specific acids, put it in some vials, half of the acid on the bottom, and then of course alright, only one of them is an acid, and I'm not going to tell you what they are. Although you could probably learn, if you learn about World War II bats, BATS, it'll tell you exactly how to do it. You put a copper penny in the middle and you glue it in place. You got the right kind of glue, it's a proper solvent, you don't have to worry about much. And what happens? Well, over time, the acid eats away the copper. When it eats away the copper, it interacts with the other chemical, and boom! They were going to use this against Japan because most Japanese residences are made out of wood. That's right. They were going to use this weapon specifically to target the houses of human beings. Not military targets. Now, do I spend my time figuring out how to go blow people up? No, but I could. Instead of trying to get help, turning this in, I could be investing my resources into killing people. But I don't. In all this time, I have not killed a single person. And my predators have killed more people because you didn't want to listen. Because between keeping your word and telling me that I should be killing people, you guys show how sick you are in the head, you web sleuth nut jobs. You just want to encourage killing and death and destruction. You're not going to actually help turn it in, and you don't want to admit that you screwed up. You don't want to admit that you were trying to manipulate me into killing people. It's too late. I already recorded it, stupid. It's already on YouTube. It's already on Facebook. The worst ones, though, are the ones that I knew in real life that pretended to be my friends. But out of sight, out of mind. You can see between me and Caitlin Tatum that it is a very one-sided friendship. Most of the time, she doesn't give me a second thought, just ignores me. Pretends I don't exist for long periods of time. And then says that it's a one-sided friendship. You're right. You're absolutely right, Caitlin Tatum. I got to go over to the Starbucks shortly and plug in and try to post up the recordings with Caitlin Tatum. When I posted up the conversations with her, you don't get to hear that part because it's just screenshots of it because it's off of my phone. My YouTube channel and my Facebook are not hooked up to my tablet anymore for some reason. With me constantly moving and constantly having to deal with hackers, I have to change the code for getting into those things. And there's the fact that I got to write it down, but in a constant state of movement, things get lost. But does that register to Danny? No, she doesn't give two shits what I've gone through for the last 2 years. She's shown that. Caitlin Tatum doesn't give two shits what I've gone through for the last 6 years. She has shown that. She doesn't care. She'll pretend just enough that she has heightened numbers on her Facebook. You remember who I was in real life. Who I have to be is because I have friends like you who only care about yourself, who will look away from horrible things happening to others because of minor taints in your life. Any excuse to look the other way. We have taught women in this country to be selfish animals. We taught them to be that way. We taught them to pretend to care about others, but to actually not care about others. In the last decade, we've come to realize that women are far more likely to be sexual predators than men. Women are far more likely to get others involved. It's not that we didn't already know this. It's that the general public is too cowardly to state such an observation. They want to wait until some institution says it. Oh, well, this institution says so. University of California at Berkeley says. You really need to wait for the University of California at Berkeley. When you go to the street dance in Sedgwick and you see a woman half the size of her husband, she's drunk, she's screaming at the top of her lungs, and she is slapping him in the face over and over and over again, publicly, in front of everybody. Nobody does a thing. Do we need University of California at Berkeley to tell us the women are far more likely to be violent than men? No, we don't. Do we need University of California at Berkeley to explain to us that women are far more likely to get away with it? No, we don't. Do we need the University of California at Berkeley to tell us that when a woman comes to us about an abusive relationship that she needs help moving out of, do we need University of California at Berkeley to tell us that that woman is probably going to go back to that beating? No, we don't. We all know these women who do these things and then blame others. This dude beats the hell out of you and you blame men, including the 20 men who came to your rescue. That's the 3 men who donated money so that you get a new apartment. The 5 men who helped you to move. What about the 2 men who had to co-sign for you? Because you can't do nothing yourself. You won't work hard enough. You won't work enough hours. You are too complacent. You are too used to men paying for everything for you. We don't need University of California at Berkeley to tell us that women earn less per year than men. We don't need University of California, Berkeley to explain to us that men work that many more hours than women. No, you take the bits and pieces that you want. Women are paid less than men because they work less than men. How much overtime are you putting in compared to your husband? Where's most of his money going? There's this redhead lady and her husband, right? And it's kind of a funny thing, right? It's one of these little, what do they call them? Shorts. And it's supposed to be cute. This lady is she uses a meek voice. She pretends to be like this. Oh, I'm sweet and innocent. Oh, like hell. Like hell. Through it all, I realized there's nothing funny about it. I mean, the reality is, we have taught women that their money is theirs to spend. And your money is also theirs to spend. If y'all get married and she doesn't want to get a job, you're paying for 2 people regardless. And she's spending all your money and sitting at home and getting fat. There's a lot of women that I know that are stay-at-home moms but don't have any kids. And then, of course, we get to hear from women who are dating men like that how horrible those men are. That's quite sexist. You want to pretend that there's no women doing that? See, I don't bring up the fact that women do this specifically to target women. It's to point out that the bias is specifically coming from one particular group who wants special rights, who don't want the law to apply to them, and they don't want the law to apply to others either. They don't want to get in trouble when they break the law. And they are fine with males taking the punishment, as long as they can maintain like they're perfect, as long as they can throw on the tears up for me. No. No. You're sick in the head. You're disgusting. Selling us these racist and sexist narratives, knowing that they're lies. Victimizing male victims for coming forward, telling us we owe you, even though we're not the ones that raped you, while you tell us to go to the back of the bus. Your problems are always more important than everybody else's. A man is not allowed to have problems or he's selfish. A man is not allowed to care about his loved ones or he's selfish. Most of the women in your life are going to be fair weather friends. They're going to pretend to care. They have learned how to manipulate you. Kind of like in the South, how they use God to manipulate others. Every insult's got to be followed with bless her heart, because that makes it okay, don't it? Her husband is dumb as a stump. Bless his heart. Ain't no blessing your heart. You're dumb as a stump. That's a fact. I'm not going to try sugarcoating it. It's not coffee. It's real life problems. But you don't get it because you don't experience those problems. Because people are constantly feeding you anything that you want, while you complain it's not enough. I vote that we give everything to women. Here in the United States, women control everything. The men just pretend that they got pants on. You don't like hearing that? Look how Morgan Burns treated me when Shauna Sinclair did something screwed up. Oh, by the way, he's dead too. Good riddance. If you're going to be a sexist prick, don't pretend to be my friend. If you're going to threaten me for being honest, don't pretend to be my friend. I don't give a fuck what genitalia you got. Wrong is wrong. And if you're going to take sides based on titties, you're a sick fuck and you belong in the ground. But as you can see, I didn't put Natalie in the ground. You did. I was the only one who made any actual effort to help me before Natalie was killed. Pretty words are not help. Empty promises are not help. Looking the other way is not help. Making it about you is not help. Don't ask a woman for help. She'll make it about her. That is what they are taught to do in the United States. You don't matter, you got a dick. And then you get to hear about all of their violent solutions. Women are made of sugar and spice and everything nice, huh? Then Sarah Bacon wants me to kill people. Candace Bondurant wants to talk about putting a 45 between their eyes. There's lots of people that get on and get a hold of me and say, if you were a real man, you'd have killed him. Really? You think you're going to manipulate me into killing people? I'd have done it already. You guys got these bus programs they want to push in Washington State, right? Those are all over the United States already. They ignore those programs. Yes, they exist, but if you're a male trying to get out of there, they're not going to help you. Not unless they break the law, and then they want you out of there so they can press charges against you the moment you're gone. But they don't tell you that they press false charges on you. They just want to make sure you can't come back and turn them in. And they tell you can't turn them in because you're in another state. You're in another jurisdiction, blah, 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 blah. Let's take a look at where those bus stations took me. Where those government programs took me. In several of those cases, they took me within 15 miles of my predators. 15 miles. In at least one of those cases, I was within a mile and a half of one of my predators. A mile and a half. Oh, absolutely I could have killed them. Absolutely I had the means. Absolutely I had the materials. I still have the means and the materials. I have a brain. Let me tell you something about guns. Before there were guns, people killed each other with sticks and rocks. How difficult is it to find a stick? How difficult is it to find a rock? You victimize me because I might. I tell on you because you did. We have taught American women to be selfish. We have taught them to have no remorse. We have taught them to sugarcoat and bullshit. We have taught them that they're pretty little princesses and that men owe them because they exist. If a woman has a male friend who is victimized today and goes to her for help, what are the chances that he's going to have to listen to a whole earful out of her mouth about how her grandmother, great-grandmother was not allowed to vote? So, not only are you digging in the past, you're not digging in the past for anything that I did, or even anything that was done to you. You're whining about something that happened to somebody who's been dead for 3 to 5 decades easily. Someone you never met. As poor you need sympathy? No, you get everything for free. The prettier you are, the more sweet and innocent you play. But the reality is, you're not sweet and innocent. You're sweet because you're not innocent. You just want to put on a particular face that'll allow you to get what you want. Like some of the most intelligent women I know will play ditzy when they want to go to a party and get some dick. They will play stupid. Why do they play stupid? The wolf and the rabbit. The wolf and the rabbit. A man is supposed to pounce on his opportunities. But if he does that, Depending on his looks in the morning, he might be charged with rape, or you might have a new boyfriend. You might say you can't remember anything in the morning. But then again, if he rejects you, even if he's ugly, even if you wouldn't have sex with him when you're sober, and you only threw yourself at him like a $2 hooker because you went to that party with the intention of getting laid, and all the guys that you wanted were already taken, but you wanted to get laid. Now, it doesn't matter if it's a good-looking guy or an ugly guy. When you wake up in the morning and you remember you were rejected, now how many of you women are actually going to admit that you've done this? No, it doesn't go along with sugar and spice and everything nice. You won't admit that you screwed up. And then when somebody proves that you screwed up, you want to whine and complain. Oh my God, you're such a horrible person. Why would you do that? You know exactly why I did it. You know exactly why I told and showed the truth. You know exactly why I exposed your sexism and your little game. When your friends only exist when they're having a good time, they're not your friends. When actually helping another person is too much for you to do because you can't tell the truth. You can't find out because it interferes with your party. It interferes with your drug flow. It interferes with your sex. You look away because you're selfish. You promise to help, but then, of course, you spend all that time talking about you. Poor you, poor you, poor you. I'm a bad person because I have a dick and I'm trying to get help. Gross. It is sexist to help women at this point because the fact is American women have been taught not to help you. American women have been taught that because they were born with a vagina, you owe them. You owe them for being born. This is what we teach here in the United States. Men are not human beings. That's what we teach. Yes, I have the ability to kill people, but not the motivation. I'm not interested in cutting your daughter's arms, legs, and head off in front of you. I'm not interested in setting up roadside bombs. I'm not down with killing everybody at a funeral. I'm not down with shooting Leslie Snell between the eyes with a .45. I'm not down with chopping her up into pieces, slicing her and dicing her, stuffing her in tires and lighting them on fire. I'm just not down. I don't follow Christopher Stegeman's philosophy of a severed head. Nothing makes a statement like a severed head. Here in Oregon, they're finding people's heads in duffel bags on the side of the road. Meanwhile, on my channel, we got who? Robert Farnsworth, right here in Tillamook, and he's got a vehicle so he can go around and take people's heads, and he's talking about 8 heads in duffel bags, 8 heads in a duffel bag in his vehicle. I haven't gotten close enough to his vehicle to smell it. I'm on this end of town because it is way the hell away from where Farnsworth hangs out. And yes, it deprives me of resources, but my safety, well, it's really not a concern, because it's either deal with Farnsworth, who's going to get away with whatever he wants to do, he's going to get away with. Nobody's going to do anything about it. But it is a definite health issue, and that deprives me of access to food, now doesn't it? Meanwhile, I don't have the money to feed myself for a month. I don't have the money to pay my bills for a month. You guys want to pretend that if I fill out a bunch of shit to get into housing and you're only willing to focus on housing, meanwhile, housing is a fucked situation. But you don't want to hear that. You never hear a thing that comes out of my face. You hear only what you want to hear and know only what you've heard. There is one good person in the United States. One. And that one good person is me. I'm it. I'm the only one out here fighting this battle. Well, you guys are just pretty words. I'm only a friend if it doesn't interrupt you having fun. If you were here, you'd hurt people? No, you wouldn't. The only person that you would hurt if you were here is me. Now, we got a couple of folks on my channel here who are typing away. Probably another one of Adavan's accounts. What are we going to do with this feller? Now, we do know that this person has typed on here before and actually been kind and not stupid. Let's see, hide user on this channel. Did I hide Cray 420? No, I got rid of the girls18.site. We don't need that crap on here. Cray 420 fights. What battle are you fighting? The war against the poor. The hatred of the homeless. The blame of the homeless. The fact that you don't have to have any evidence for an innocent man to be railroaded in court as long as he's homeless. It's just assumed that he must be on drugs. You can't go to the hospital as a homeless person and actually get help. No, you're going to get treated like a junkie. You're going to get treated like an addict. You're going to be thrown out the door and sent somewhere else. Or abused for trying to turn in officers. If you are a disabled American, it doesn't matter if your assailant is an officer or not. They still committed a felony by targeting an at-risk adult who could not defend themselves, knowingly, willingly, and intentionally depriving that person of legal resources, depriving them of the things that they need in order to survive, depriving them of their disability money through false charges. Cray 420 typed, it's going to be illegal here. What is Cray 420? Also, 420, just so you know, that's April 20th. A lot of y'all want to point out that that's Hitler's birthday. And a lot of y'all want to point out that it's a stoner's holiday. Let me tell you something. In order to get into a new community with the homeless, it's really difficult. If you don't smoke pot or drink alcohol or do illicit drugs, nobody out here is going to trust you. Crate 420 typed, it's going to be illegal here, being homeless. All right, well, homelessness is already illegal. They say, oh, it's not illegal to be homeless in Oregon. No, just every aspect of homelessness. You can't sleep outside. You can't sleep on state property. You can't sleep on federal property. Can't stay on public land. It's not free camping, regardless of what you were told, and regardless of what it says on the website. You're not allowed to urinate. You know, I got a bottle in here for pissing in. When I gotta pee, this is what I do. I put this thing up so people can't see me through that window. I put this thing up so people can't see me through that window. And then I use that blanket right there to cover up this window. That way I can go to the bathroom without getting in trouble. My vehicle's illegal right now. Thank goodness I'm in a private parking lot at McDonald's. I'm not going to be able to get it legal until Monday. I definitely don't have the money to get it all legal and still survive on. But, of course, without the vehicle, I can't run around to these appointments that do absolutely nothing but send me on to someone else. And then I get told, oh, but it's free, it's free, it's free. No, it's not. How much time do I waste with these people for them to tell me a year and a half later that it's not their job? Maybe you should have figured out what your fucking job was on day one. Cray Cray 420 typed bad tags. What do you mean by that, Cray Cray 420? What I mean by the 420 thing and bringing it up is that I have had homeless people here give me pot. Now, I'm not referring to Claire. Yes, she gave me pot. There was nothing wrong with her pot. There was nothing in it. Not the stuff she gave me anyway. But she's one of at least 3 homeless people here who are given meth in their pot. Cray Cray 420 typed, your vehicle is illegal. Yes, sir. My tags and my plates are expired. Well, my plates are not expired. My tags are. I'm not in Nebraska, so I can't get all that done through Nebraska. The other thing is I would have to go through the courthouse in Nebraska, and all of those people are working together to help Scott DaCosta. Although, thank goodness, at least one of them is on her way to prison. Ha, Polly Olson! Ha, ha, ha! You protected Scott DaCosta, but he couldn't protect you, could he? As far as killing people goes, yes, absolutely, we all have the ability. Even here in Tillamook, I've had, I want to say, close to a dozen people offer me firearms, but it's not that many. At least 3 or 4. The fact that there's places in town where I can buy explosives and ammunition. Yes, literally explosives here in town. Of course, there's also me being forced to make an AR-15. Now, I did everything that I could to make sure that there was a paper trail on that. I did everything that I could to try to force somebody to do something. I mean, you got it all over YouTube. You got agents coming to people's doors because they bought an 80%. Well, I bought 3 of them. Nobody came to my door. I bought 3 of them on my government pay card, my Direct Express card, including multiple parts. Now, don't get me wrong. Most of those are not illegal. Cray Cray 420 typed, you can get styrofoam and gas. Yes, you can. Homemade napalm. It's not as effective as you might think. You might want to put some baking soda in it. Just saying. Of course, then we got sugar rockets. You can watch King of Random videos about sugar rockets. You also get to learn about the potential hazards of using rust. Rust is an iron oxide. Oxide means oxygen. Oxygen means hotter burn, bigger explosion. Sugar rockets that utilize rust have a much higher oxygen content and are far more dangerous. Why don't I make sugar rockets? Because they're very dangerous. They're dangerous to the user. There are lots of technologies, many technologies that I research, a lot, but I'm not going to fuck with them. I'm smart enough to know not to mess with them myself. I know too many people who are missing parts. So one guy, he tells me, you know what, I was a mortarman. That means he was in the infantry, basically. It means that him and a few other guys dragged around a real heavy piece of equipment in Vietnam. Now, how did he lose his leg? I don't know if this story is true or not. He's definitely missing a leg. He definitely has a prosthetic. How did he lose his leg? He lost this leg from the knee down. He lost the other one from the ankle down. Now, according to him, his mortar got too hot. And they were told if it gets too hot and you ain't got no water in your canteen to cool it down, you're surrounded by enemies. You need to cool it down. You urinate on it. Well, when he urinated on it, the fucking thing exploded on him. There was no rocket in it. There was no mortar in it. It was just too hot. It also means that the metal was tempered, probably from being urinated on and probably from having hot water or cold water poured on it while it's extremely hot. Them mortars are not made out of steel like that. They're not made out of tempered steel for a reason. It's likely to crack. It's made out of mild to medium steel. The higher the carbon content in it, the easier it's going to heat up, and the more likely it is to melt down on you. So you don't want something high carbon. Craig 420 typed, "You're on a watch list now, LOL. Does he have his PP still?" See, now there's difference here between being humorous and being a troll. That's fucking funny. Just so you know, I've been on a watch list. You know, I would expect that I've been on a lot of watch lists. One of the things that Joseph Michael Lopez did, right? Like, he's got this sick infatuation with death. Just like the 96% of my viewers on my YouTube channel who are women. It's a sick infatuation with death. That's right, 96% of my viewers on this channel are women. Yeah. 94 of them are age 35 to 44. It's pretty significant. Now, one of the things that Joseph Michael Lopez did, he was into torturing people. He was into chopping people up, all sorts of creepy shit like this, right? So I try to put myself on a watch list. If I am able to force them to look at the evidence and do something, that's what I got to do. So, of course, what do? I was told, all right, well, you got to watch this particular type of video on whatever channel. And so I did that. Didn't work. I told Dallas Richmond about it. I'm like, Dallas, you know, I'm looking this stuff up that's on the internet that's supposed to make me tagged and red flagged and send somebody to my door. They're not doing it. 80% kits through the internet. On my government pay card that my disability money goes to. They didn't do nothing. They never do. Being on a watch list, that's not the only thing that I did. I literally, and I admit this to this day, I literally threatened to kill the President of the United States in order to try to force them to do their jobs. And although there's videos that I can't watch, I can't watch the videos of people getting chopped up. I can't watch that shit. Now the whole, all right, look up family porn thing. That'll work. That'll work. They'll red flag you immediately. Sadly and unfortunately, here in the United States, the most popular pornography is family porn. Over 80% of the households in the United States watch family porn. Brother and sister, son and mother, grandfather and granddaughter. This is the most common porn in the country. And no, that's not going to work. Videos with people getting their heads chopped off should get red flagged, but it doesn't work. Buying 80% kits on the internet with your government pay card. Having them sent, those parts sent to Dallas Richmond's house. The parts themselves are not illegal. Shit, if Dallas wanted to keep all of those parts, that'd be fine. That's absolutely fine with me. It's not illegal for him to have those parts. Dallas is not the one who wanted to blackmail me into making it. He's not the one who is trying to get me to commit felonies. And he's not the one who is committing felonies in order to try to get an illegal firearm. This guy just wanted his dream gun. Another Robert. I'm beginning to not like the name Robert. Even admitting live on YouTube and Facebook that I made an illegal firearm. Even admitting that when I was arrested in the hotel room in Sydney, Nebraska, that firearm stayed under that bed the entire time I was in prison. Through all of that. If somebody wanted to get that one completed AR-15 kit that is completely completed, it is illegal. It's got an illegal folding butt stock. It's got extended magazines. It's got a kit so that you can quick change it. You can literally change it over so that it's firing 5.56 NATO rounds. A simple change of clip and you can fire 223 Remington. And of course, there's the multiple kits or multiple magazines that go along with the 22 long rifle quick change. Now, how long does it take to change out that quick change? 30 seconds. It don't even take that. Now, the ammunition size, yeah, there's a lot more weight to the 223 and the 5.56 ammunition, but there's not jack shit to the 22 long rifle. If somebody wanted to take just the ammunition that is with the firearm, there's probably close to 1,000 rounds of ammunition. That's enough for at least 2 rounds of 22 long rifle per citizen in Chapel, Nebraska. Even that wasn't enough to get me red flagged. Then there's the, oh, well, here's the way it actually works, Sean. They don't actually care. It's when you try to hide stuff that they do stuff. So when you go incognito, it's not actually incognito. It does the opposite. When you go incognito because you don't want the government to see what you're looking at, that's how they can tell that that's what you're trying to look at. I'm like, all right, I'll try that. We'll go incognito and try watching these videos. Of course, I can't watch them. Just thinking about the fact that people like that exist disgusts me. If I watch those videos, I'm going to be leaning out my vehicle puking. It's gross. Am I supposed to give up? Let's see. Cray Cray 420 typed, what kind of video? You watch CP? What's CP? Is that something that's going to get me red flagged? Because I could. I don't know what it is, though. Maybe you should tell me. Ah, no, I'm not into children. And I'm definitely not going to look that shit up. There's, no. Mm-mm. No, that's going way too far. No, I'm trying to get red flagged and get my evidence looked at. I'm not trying to, mm-mm. No, that's a bridge too far. Like I said, there are things that my predators are willing to do that I couldn't, not in a million years. Yeah, Ted Bollinger could fuck his own daughter when she was underage and be fine with it. I can't. You know, even though she was an adult, thought she had a big old crush on me, thought she was in love with me, I still couldn't do it. Yeah, she was a grown-ass adult, and yeah, she wanted it. But there's two things to look at there. First of all, she still looks 12. Just like Danny still looks 12. No, I couldn't have sex with a girl who looks 12. It's gross. He typed, oh, message retracted. Well, we'll take a screenshot of that. I understand why you erased that. It does make sense, but it's also evidence. This conversation is actually happening and you are actually typing to me. Now, I understand why you asked that question. Yes, that would be a great way to get myself red flagged, but it wouldn't get anything looked at. See, what we're looking at is pushing gray areas where the government wants to look at you. As far as illegal firearm goes, yeah, I'll admit to that. I ordered the stuff. I built the thing. Yeah, it happened, I'll admit it. But when it comes to, no. No, that's definitely a bridge too far. That would be like calling somebody the N-word. No, that's a bridge too far. Ted Bollinger is willing to kill people. Ted Bollinger is willing to rape his own daughters. Ted Bollinger is willing to do a lot of evil things. For me, I gotta psych myself up to even pretend like I might. I have to get myself psyched up just to threaten the lives of my predators back. See, when you threaten my life, I don't want to threaten you back. I want to talk to you like a human being and say, hey, let's hash this out like adults. But you can't do that here in America, where we have taught all women that they don't have to be adults, that they don't have to be held accountable for the things that they do, that they are not to be held accountable for the actions that they commit, or the words that come out of their mouth, or the harm that it causes. The law does not apply to women here. The law does not apply to police officers here. The law does not apply to the homeless either, but in the opposite way. A woman in Seattle gets pregnant by a 13-year-old student. The student was 14 years old when this girl had the baby. Now, out of her quite extensive sentence, how much time did she spend? 8 months. 8 months. Yeah, that's equality. A male teacher gets busted watching porn on a school computer. Goes to prison for 38 years. 38-year sentence. Now, he might get good time. He might. Just like Joseph Michael Lopez might get good time. He's been sentenced to 48 years. He's served about 5 of those years. If he gets time and a half, good time served, he'll be out in about 26 years now, 28 years. I'm not scared of Joseph Michael Lopez. I'm scared of Ted Bollinger. Natalie is scared of Ted Bollinger. Alicia is scared of Ted Bollinger. Danica is scared of Ted Bollinger. Rose is scared of Ted Bollinger. Now, their interactions with me should have been monitored by the police. All of that should have been monitored by the police. Instead, the police helped them to gaslight me. Anything that it takes to help my predators get away. And any of you who are not helping me to turn them in, you are responsible for helping them to get away. Now, I'm not going to promise you that I'll never kill anybody. I can't do that. I know that there are things in life that happen. Sometimes you're in a hurry to get somewhere, and you don't look to the right like you should, and you pull out in front of somebody. They fly through their windshield and over your hood. It's my number one goal in life, not to kill anybody, not even by accident. But I'm aware that accidents happen. When Natalie Marie Bollinger was killed, you guys got extremely lucky that I tried to turn people in instead of going straight for Ted Bollinger and Tim Beeson. You're lucky that I didn't decide to light the whole country on fire. However, All of you deserve it. All of you. I've had many, many, many people tell me, Sean, you should have just done it. None of these people care because it's not happening to them. Maybe if they lose their houses, they'll try to understand. Now, where was I when the Boulder fire happened? When the Boulder County fire happened that burned 800 houses to the ground? Well, I certainly wasn't in Colorado. The thing is, none of you guys cared. Not one of my friends cared. Not one of them gave a shit. Not one of them followed through. See, the goal here, since November of 2016, that's not true. Because in October of 2016, I tried turning in the police officers who busted my vehicle. They busted my vehicle because Natalie lied. Natalie claimed I stalked her. And when I was trying to turn them in, Natalie Marie Bollinger called me up. And between trying to turn those officers in and getting as far away from Natalie and her fucking junkie family as possible, I stopped trying to turn that cop in, and it was pretty much futile anyway. I mean, I already spoke with at least 3 individuals on the phone who are doing the retarded treatment, the playing like they are too stupid to understand the English language. Oh, you mean you need a cop out there so you can turn somebody in for breaking your vehicle? No, I'm trying to turn in cops for breaking my vehicle. Oh, so what you're saying is, hold on, stop. Stop playing retarded. I believe that any dispatch operator who plays retarded should be hung in public. Public hanging. If you're going to help bad cops to get away, you're going to lie, cheat, berate, steal, commit felonies to assist them to get away, you're getting my friends and my loved ones killed. You are adding to national statistics that are biased. Boulder tries claiming that out of all of their police interactions, less than 0.03 result in police officers getting violent or a violent altercation. That is not true. Boulder police beat the hell out of homeless people every day. Boulder police have literally beaten people to death that I know. And it ain't just Boulder. Cray 420 type that. No, that should be Death Row. Here's the thing, is that for me to be forced to go alone repeatedly to any agency that has repeatedly committed felonies against me, especially knowing that I am trying to turn them in, is not only immoral, it is highly illegal, and not one of you care. And still, I haven't killed any of you. Not one. You're lucky I didn't go off the deep end when Natalie was killed. Oh yeah, I definitely went crazy there for a while. I still haven't recovered from what they've done. It is likely that it is not possible for me to recover in my lifetime. Zaid Atkinson has one messed up situation with the cops. And although none of my friends know him, they all posted up about him, but not once did they ever try speaking up about me. Not once did they ever care about me. Why? Because the media painted him as some freedom fighter. The media painted me as a rapist and a child molester and a murderer and a stalker. My predators, having jobs where they get government funding, have had unlimited access to your tax dollars and utilize those tax dollars to repeatedly force me into situations where I was abused and had no one to go to. Meanwhile, we have taught girls that it doesn't matter who ends up dead as long as they don't have to admit they did wrong. Play like you're made of sugar and spice and everything nice. The reality is Danny looks 12. The guy that she's married to is at least 2.5 foot taller than her. She looks like a 12-year-old. So I suppose we should thank Danny Francis for marrying that guy, because that reduces his chances of going out and fucking little kids. Many of y'all think that we should kill pedophiles. Now, if it weren't for situations like this, or situations like Christopher Tapp, or situations like Rick Marvin, I would agree. I would agree. However, we need to make it equal. We need to make it so that if a man can be killed for such a thing, he absolutely is allowed his rights, which you don't allow. You don't allow a male to defend themselves. You don't allow it. If it was equal, let's say there is the death penalty. Let's say you molest a child and you say there should be the death penalty. Let's say they gave you that. Let's say they made the death penalty for child molesters. Now, taking a look at my situation and many others, sure, there's allegations from people that I didn't rape or molest. So where are these allegations coming from? Where is the victim? Who is the victim? There isn't one. I am the victim of this. I am the one taking the assaults. I am the one abused over a crime that literally did not happen. Now, under this particular scenario, Natalie did get exactly what a person should get when they make false charges and false reports or false accusations. Now, she didn't make any reports claiming that I raped her. She didn't make any reports claiming that I molested her, and neither did her sister. They pretended that I stalked them, and that was good enough. Those officers didn't need any evidence. She's got tits. She must be telling the truth. She looks cute and innocent. She must be telling the truth. An officer is more likely to listen to somebody they want to fuck, just like the rest of you. If you want them to stick their dick in you, you're more likely to listen to them. If you want to shove your cock inside of them, you're more likely to listen to what they have to say. Now, the threats against my sister and the threats against my niece, I know exactly which 23 people to kill in Chapel, Nebraska and the general vicinity to guarantee nobody ever tries that again. 23 bodies. Now, how do you make 23 bodies in Nebraska from all the way in Oregon? That's the point of being in Oregon. If my predators end up dead because they're predators, I get blamed, and they threaten to kill my loved ones, my sister, my niece, and others. Ain't none of y'all good people. None of you. How did I know Natalie was going to die? Because I grew up in that system, dummies. How did I know how Christine Buhit was going to die? Because many, many, many druggies out on the streets do exactly what she did. You know, they can't do a whole bunch of drugs out on the streets. They're constantly paranoid. They got to find a place where they can shoot up and not get busted. Right? But once you give them a house, they don't have that fear anymore. They also want those drugs still. Now there is nothing stopping them. They don't have to search for a bush where there's not 40 people walking by. They don't have to try to wait until 10 o'clock at night after everybody's already gone home and you go sneak under the Pigeon Ship Bridge and shoot up. No, she can go to her house and shoot up. And also she can provide other junkies with a safe place to shoot up. Of course, there's also the ones that don't want to freeze to death. It's cold out. They bring her some of her drug of choice. They can stay on the floor for the night. How did Christine Buhit die? She overdosed. She took some of them drugs and it ended up being fentanyl. It's one of the issues we got here. I go to a dispensary here for my weed. It's the only place I go for weed. I'm not going to go anywhere else for weed. I'm not going to accept it from homeless people. Well, I do, but then I throw it away. Why do I throw it away? Because I don't want to smoke meth. I don't want the chance that it's going to be in my pot. I don't smoke pot because I need pot. I smoke it socially so that I can actually be a part of a community. Show them that I'm not perfect. Yes, I have vices. But I'm not somebody who is willing to share my pot with somebody else if there's the possibility that it's got methamphetamines in it. Not cool. Not cool at all. So while I'm out here trying to make a difference, what are you guys doing? You're targeting the victim for telling the truth. When you screw up, I am not obligated to hide your fuck-ups. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind.